Hey guys, welcome back to Not Another YouTube channel. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the process of actually becoming a homeowner. I know I've shared a few videos of where I'm decorating the house and turning the house into a home, but in this particular video, I want to talk about how we became actual homeowners. Now, the reason I am sharing this information is for us. I thought the process was going to be just going to be extremely lengthy, scary, and unattainable, at least right now. And this was something we would probably do far, far, far in the future. But later on, I found out that the process was very easy and almost shocking. Actually, when we took our closing check, I was like in shock. I was like, wait, what? It cost how much? Why didn't we do this 10 years ago? Why are we doing this now? But everything happens in the right time. So I'm hoping by sharing our story that someone out there will learn a thing or two or get inspired to even become a homeowner. So how did we become homeowners? There was really no conversation of let's go buy a house, let's save to buy a house. No, that really didn't happen. It was almost like one of those things that we buy the wade into. Oh, by the way, we bought a house kind of thing. I know this is not going to be one of those videos where you say buy a house for $0. I bought this house for $0. And then you with $0 go clicking on the video thinking, oh, I have $0. I can buy a house. No, you simply cannot buy a house with $0. And if anybody says otherwise, comment below or tell them to come and comment below. I mean, you can play around with the mathematics all you want, but you simply cannot buy a house with no money, $0. It does not exist. So I am going to share with you guys how we went about becoming homeowners and how it eventually ended up costing us $6,000 out of pocket. It's 2 years ago, we moved to Baltimore, Maryland. And I realized the houses over there are ridiculously cheap, like ridiculously cheap. And I was like, whoa, I mean, if we're going to buy a house and the first house we get cheap is a good option. So one afternoon, like I had done so many times, is I go on Zillow. I have spent hundreds of hours on Zillow over the past years. So seriously, I've spent hundreds of hours on Zillow. And I am obsessed with Zillow. I am always on there looking at houses. If I'm in a neighborhood, I have the app in my phone. I pull it up. I'm like, oh, check this neighborhood out. Did you know that house is this much? Did you know how big that house is? So yes, I am constantly on Zillow. No, this video is not sponsored by Zillow, but they should sponsor this video because I am constantly on there. So this afternoon, I was sitting there. I was like, it's a really nice house. And when you click on the house, there's the section where it says, if you're interested in this property, fill out this information. So, guess what? I go in there, put in our information, boom. Literally, like, I don't even remember how long it was, but it was pretty soon. I don't know if it was the same day or the next day. The realtor contacts me. She's like, oh, I saw you were interested in this house at such and such a place. I was like, yeah, have you guys got pre-approved? I'm like, no. So we contact one of the lenders she recommended and we literally get pre-approved there on the phone. And I was like, whoa, this is so much easier than I thought it was going to be. So at that point, we tell the realtor, you know what, let's go ahead and look at some houses. She's like, okay, well, if you're interested, let's put down some honest money. And we're like, okay, well, let's do that. So we kind of waltzed into this house buying thing. And so we looked at a few houses, then we found one that we liked. We made an offer on it, and then our offer was not accepted. And so we just started looking at other houses and made an offer on a second house where our offer actually got accepted. It was a single family home, but it was split on the inside. And so there was a unit on the bottom and a unit on the top. And we figured, you know what, we could live in one, rent the other one out. But when their appraiser got to the house, they were like, you know what, they didn't use the right permit to split the house into 2 units. So you're going to have to reconvert it back into one. And at that point, we're like, yes, it's a good deal. But we don't want to go through that process of trying to figure out permits and all the money that's going to be involved in converting it into back into one unit. So we decided, you know what, let's just keep looking for another house. Now, we found a house. The third house that we found and we made an offer was actually across the street from the very first house that we made an offer on. When we make an offer on the third house, it gets accepted. So now we're under contract. And at this point, we have the appraiser come. The appraiser says the house looks good for what they're asking for. Then, of course, you have the inspector come. The inspector comes, checks the house out. They check the plumbing, electrical, how the things work, the cooker, all the stuff. Basically, they check the house, the roofing and everything. They check the house to make sure the house is in the condition the seller says it's in, and if there's any fixes that need to be done at that point, they let you know. So based on the inspector's report. There were several different things that needed to be fixing. So we went back to the seller and said, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and fix these things. The seller's like, fine, we'll go ahead and fix it. So the day before closing, we go back to check and see none of the stuff they said they were going to fix, they had fixed. So we were like, okay, what's going on? And the seller was like, oh, well, we ran out of time. The contractor we told to come to the site was unable to come in time. So give us an additional 2 weeks to fix the things that you requested us to fix. We're like, okay, fine. So we extend our contract by another 2 weeks. Same thing happened. The day before we were supposed to be closing, nothing had been done. So we extended a third time, and again for the third time. The day before, when we're doing the inspections, it hadn't been finished. So at this point, my husband is like, you know what? I really don't think we should go with this house. I mean, this is 3 different times. If they haven't fixed the stuff by now, imagine what is going to happen once we move in and find all these random weird things going wrong with the house. So at that point, I was like, okay, well, let's let it go. We weren't really emotionally invested in the process because we didn't even expect the process to begin with to pan out the way it did. So I wasn't emotionally invested. I was okay with leaving the house the way it was. And I was like, oh, well, this has been quite an exciting journey. Trying to buy a house. Yes, we didn't get a house, but it has been quite an exciting journey. So how exactly were we even considering buying a house with little money? Well, first of all, we were going to take advantage of all the programs that they had out there. Guys, this is free money. It's grants the cities and states are willing to give you to buy a house. Can you believe that? There is free. They want to give you money. I mean, they're doing everything. And in Baltimore specifically, you could get even up to 50 grand depending on what program you qualify for. And in certain instances, you could even layer the programs. I mean, it was insane. I was like, yo, we should, I mean, if you're in Baltimore and you want to buy a house, like, you are in the right place. If you want flip houses, that is a flipper's paradise. But what we were trying to do is we were trying to take advantage of all the programs we could qualify for. Now, that is the thing about these programs. You have to meet certain requirements in order to qualify for them, whether it means meeting a certain income threshold or having a certain credit score or having a certain job. There are certain requirements that you need to meet in order to get these grants, or there might be certain requirements that you need to meet in order on how long you need to stay in the home or how long they expect you to own the home. Just know there was a whole bunch of stuff there. And I think for us at that point, it's where it really opened our eyes to the programs that are available by the city or state for home buyers, because they really do want to encourage home ownership. So at that point for us, we're like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this thing. Now, did we have the whole bunch of money to buy the house? Absolutely not. But considering the little savings that we had, plus what the state and city was going to give us, we could very easily own a home for close to what we were paying for rent or even less. So if you like this video, or if you want to see part 2 of this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I post part 2, you're able to come on board and learn a thing or two.